Hi all. We're going to do a little video today about camping, boondocking etiquette. There's actually three, as far as I'm concerned, just my opinion. There's the camping etiquette, and then there's the boondocking etiquette, and then there's the I'm rude and I don't care etiquette. So I fall into the boondocking etiquette. I don't want to see. I don't spend any time in national parks. That for that reason, they're crowded and all kinds of different kinds of people in them, and I just don't spend time in national parks. I go to the national forest, and there's a big difference. Most of the places that I camp in aren't set up for camping. There's no facilities, there's no camping rings unless somebody's made one out of rocks. Most of the places are pretty hard to get in and out of for bigger vehicles. That's the places that I like to go. This last summer I was in a spot there where Alan can get his trailer in and out without too much trouble, so it wasn't really my cup of tea, so to speak, to be in those places. And so what happened was after Alan left, and I was there by myself, and there was a group of people that came in with their big expensive RVs, and I guess they figured that, well, here's an old guy all by himself sitting out there in this big spot, so we'll just move in on him, and maybe he'll take off. Long story short, there was one in there. First thing they did, of course, is get out their big air hammers and air jacks, and just being an absolute nuisance, disturbing the peace, I guess you could say. My peace. And well, the day that I left, 3 days later, there were 9 other big trailers and travel trailers and big Class C's and big fifth wheels all in there. And we were all within just 5 to 10 yards of each other. So yeah, I went over, I said something to him about it. I asked him I said, is all the other camping spots filled? And I just got some remark, well, this was a flat spot. It's hard to find a flat spot up here. So we talked a few minutes later after that. I told him I was just going to go ahead and leave anyway. So as I was turned around and walked away, he said, well, I didn't mean to run you off. Yeah, you did. 880,000 acres in it, in the Sitgraves National Forest, and that was the only flat spot. So I learned a lesson on that one. I'd just go back to my little isolated spots there, where I can just get in, and sometimes I get blocked in, or not blocked in, but stranded in there to get a good rainstorm, and I have to find my own way out because the road's flooded. That's the kind of places that I like to go. And so that would be the boondocking etiquette. No one else around. It's very, very quiet, and the animals start coming in, the chipmunks, squirrels, and elk. I've seen some deer up there, a lot of elk, but deer is kind of a rarity. And if you just sit up there and be quiet, don't make a bunch of noise, and they'll get curious and start coming in to check out the humans. And there's bear up there, I guess. I've never seen any. As long as I've been going up there, I've never seen any. A few years ago, there was so many that they didn't allow any soft-sided campers in there, tents and pop-ups and that sort of equipment. That they didn't allow them to go in because of the danger. But even at then, I still didn't see any bear. They were all around the residential area, raiding trash cans and dumpsters and all that. So, but yeah, the boondocking thing for me is being all by myself, I like to be able to look out the window and not see somebody walking around their trailer and, you know, checking this out and checking that out, and campfires till 11, 12 o'clock and all that. So that's the places that I try to find. The bad thing about that is that when there's no people around, there's no facilities. These are the water is hard to find, and you know, and just, you know, it's a drive to go get groceries or whatever. But that's the part that I enjoy. I stock up as much as I can on food and water, and you know, a lot of times I'll find a spot to camp and then get out all my stuff and get set up, and then drive. I think it was about 20 miles, 25 miles to get water. I'll load up with 25 or 30 gallons of water and haul it all back in without the weight of everything else. But now, since this summer, it's gotten pretty crowded up there. It really has. I think that mostly it's because Arizona closed a big part of the forest in that area. They try not to close completely, but it was so dangerous that, you know, everything was so dry, and it was such a bad drought during the winter. I mean, you know, they barely had any snow up there, so there was not a lot of snow to melt. So they actually did close a big part. They weren't allowing anybody in the area, so, you know, people still want to go camping, and so they found that spot. And so I don't know. You know, we'll see how it goes. I mean, after the Labor Day weekend, it's usually really quiet, but I haven't left yet. But I'm going to take off Friday or Saturday to go on up there, and we'll see how things are. If you know, if it's really crowded, I'll start looking for other places up there, even if I have to drive further than I normally do. I'm that adamant about finding places by myself. I'm not afraid of the dark, and I'm not afraid to be alone, so, you know, the boogeyman probably isn't going to get me. And well, yeah, now that I've said that. The other part of the series is going to be camping etiquette and I don't care attitude. So I don't care etiquette, but we're going to save that for a different video. But there's a couple of spots up there that I always go to that it's hard to see from the road. It's fairly close to the road, but it's pretty enclosed. The bad thing about that is that the solar starts to get a little bit skimpy, and when you get in those kinds of areas. But you know, I can always run the generator, and there's nobody around, so I can run that as much as I need to. Even at that, though, I still shut down 10:30 or so. If it isn't charged up by then, it's not going to be charged up, so I'll start turning things off. And besides, 10 o'clock's my bedtime anyway, so you know, I try not to have any fires where you know, they're going to be burning all night. Excuse me. You know, so I can stay up till 10:30 and go to bed and not have to worry about stuff. So but I gotta have my morning fire. You guys have been following my channel for a while, know about that. Definitely gotta have that morning fire. Get out there with my coffee and relax.